It's like, I'm 67 years old right now, and the phone just keeps ringing, and people still want to work with me. And I mean, I don't know what to say. I've never called a label or called an artist and said, I want to work with you, ever.
Right.
But somehow it just keeps, coming. And I think it's just, I have a lot of repeat customers, which I take a lot of pride in, like 9 records with Boney,
Hmm.
8 with Huge Groove, and 8 with Peter White, and 6 or 7 with Norman Brown. And, I did a couple with a lot of different artists. And so that means a lot to me. Jesse J, we did 5 CDs together, and I try to create an atmosphere in the studio where people can do their absolute best performance wise. And I think that's probably the most important job as a producer. So, I have a really comfortable studio at home with a vintage Neve console and all the best equipment you could possibly get. And it's a very comfortable room to be in. And I get the headphones sounding like an absolute record. So when they put the headphones on and play their instrument or sing, it's like, wow, okay. It's not, well, can I have this or can I have that? That never happens. So, and I learned that along the way from, working as an engineer at Amigo Studios. I was witness to many, many great producers and records being made from, you know, Randy Newman and James Taylor and Van Halen and Michael McDonald and, on and on and on. I was really lucky to witness all these things, Carole King. And so I saw how producers work with musicians and artists and A&R people and girlfriends. I mean, because when you're the engineer, you're making it sound a certain way, and then the
Hmm.
A&R guy, he's got to be happy, and then the producer's got to be happy, and then the
Right.
guitar comes in and he listens to it, and the girlfriend. I mean, it's just on and on and on like that. So it's interesting that when you're an engineer, I think you learn a lot about just the intricacies of making records, and
Hmm.
from a production point of view, I take pride in my writing and trying to get performances out of people. That's probably the best thing, And even with Boney, I was talking to him the other day, and because he's been doing his own production now for a few years,
Oh,
and he's
okay.
good at it.
Right.
I always think that when he's in the room with me, he's actually trying to not impress me, but he's obviously thinking, okay, I'm sitting here
Right.
in the room with him